All right, so a very exciting commitment for the University of Texas. One of the most fun recruits to cover for a lot of people in many years. Has done a great job. Him and Jake Fisher of giving really the people on his YouTube channel. I suggest you guys go over, watch Jake Fisher's videos because you can see Johntay's personality, and he's a really good kid, and he's going to bring swagger and confidence to the University of Texas. It was between, I believe, I know Oregon was involved in his final three. He also visited Ole Miss, even Alabama. And I mean, he's a guy who's from Dallas, so kind of likes the city, likes the suburban life, he was saying. And when you go to Austin, it's a great college town. And he gets to stay in the Longhorn State. And so for the University of Texas, this is a huge recruit. I mean, Johntay is a great guy that's going to recruit other guys to go to the University of Texas. On the field, let's watch him on the field because, five-star receiver on the field. I really think he's making a great decision because he kind of reminds me, what role can he play? He could play kind of Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle type role in the Sarkisian offense. He's going to really be utilized in the slot. He's about 6 feet tall. He's going to be utilized in the slot early. So the cool part for him is it's going to be a very competitive wide receiver room there at the University of Texas, and he's going to be competing with rising sophomores next year after senior year of high school at DeSoto. But he's a real deep threat. He could catch the ball. He could run after catch. He tracks the ball well. He has elite speed. That's the best part about Johntay Cook is his speed. Chews up yards, subtle, really quick motion. So as he's running full speed, he's able to change directions. That's the best part about his game. Areas that he can improve on, I mean, you want to see maybe just, along the sidelines, you want to even see more routes. I mean, he practices that in 7-on-7. But good improvisation, good spatial awareness on this particular play from Cook, right? He could, the quarterback could try to throw a tight ball in the coverage, but he sees the hole in the zone. Him and the quarterback have good chemistry. He's able to go and break to the open field there. So good improvisation, good spatial awareness. He has spatial awareness. So again, there's going to be guys that are taller on the roster, but I think you could play him in the slot. He's a really good fit for the Sarkisian offense. I think he could be an NFL, if everything goes right, I believe he could play on Sundays as either a slot. I'm sure he's going to want to play outside, and he maybe has that potential with his speed. The short area stuff and breaking press coverage, that's something that you want to see more on tape, and that's going to be presented to him in the SEC. He's going to be going against really physical corners. So if you're a cornerback, I mean, you don't want to give him this much cushion because he really is an explosive player. So you want to challenge him, try to challenge the contested catch area if you're guarding against Cook. But he's a very good route runner, and his speed is elite. So that is why he's a 5-star receiver. I think he's a very, very good wide receiver. Probably at least the top 8 guy in the class right now that I'm looking at. I mean, the Ohio State guys are very, very good. He could be a top 5 guy maybe in this class. And then his production, I do think he's an NFL receiver, and I think he can help out a receiver room at Texas and make it great. A lot's going to depend on Arch and Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers has a bigger arm than Arch Manning. They're both not the tallest guys in the world. I think that if he played with a Malachi Nelson and Lincoln Riley's offense, he would have been very, very good. You look at Oregon, I mean, they have Jerrion Dickey. They also have the guy from Iowa, of course, Kyler Casper. That would have been an interesting offense, but right now Dillingham's still a young offensive coordinator. As much as I love Kenny Dillingham, Steve Sarkisian, his career coaching at Washington and as a coordinator at USC, he's been around longer than Kenny Dillingham. And you also look at how Jalen Waddle and Smith were utilized with a Mac Jones, and I kind of see Arch Manning as playing similar to Mac Jones. I don't think he has the biggest arm to really push the ball down the field like even Jackson Arnold does at Oklahoma. or Malachi Nelson. But I do think that Arch Manning can be accurate. I think he can move. He's very fast mobily, so he's going to be able to escape the pocket. And Mac Jones didn't have the biggest arm at all. He had kind of like, for a college quarterback, he still had like an average arm. He was good at layering the deep ball, and that's what Arch is going to have to do. And Mac Jones created plenty of explosive plays. All right, there's plenty of good quarterbacks that are really efficient, very effective in college that might not have the biggest arm. Kevin Cobb, Bailey Zappi, Matt Schaub in the NFL. So I do believe that he can create explosive plays, and he goes to the University of Texas. Brennan Marion, he developed Jordan Addison, so he's going to develop you. He's one of the best young receiver coaches. He's one of the best coaches in the country at coaching offensive football and receivers. He's going to be a head coach in a few years at a Power 5 level. Brennan Marion's a star, so it's a really good commitment. It's 3 hours from Dallas. His family's going to be able to watch him, and he also has Ewers and Arch Manning there, both very accurate quarterbacks, both big play potential, and you get a real great play caller in Sark. It's just a really good opportunity for Cook. I think it makes a lot of sense. It really does. You know, Oregon is a good school as well. Really effective wide receiver play. So let's keep looking at Cook's game. I mean, his cutting ability is awesome. Watch him. Stagger step. And he can break guys. He is just so fast. He reminds me of Sky Moore. You know, maybe Hollywood Brown, right? Like 5'11" receivers. And where the modern game is going, I mean, with space, he's going to be utilized really, really well. More improvisation. I mean, that's a play, though, that's a long developing kind of play. So how applicable is that? He might, I mean, if you're going to have to run like a 10-yard curl, you want to see him maybe run at full speed. But he knows the improvisation levels. I like that he's going to play in the slot, because when you're a slot receiver and you're versatile, can play inside, you're going to be able to play early on in your college career. So he should start as a freshman. That's the expectation. Finds the hole, settles. Pretty good move right there. Let's see if I like the cut. Choppy. Got to have a good O-line, though, when you're running these routes, because they do take time to develop. Yeah, I think short area quickness, you know, I think that there's sometimes when the short area quickness is on, I think it maybe when he's wearing the green jersey, because let's go back to this route. Maybe it's just because the camera's not out there, but does a good job of cutting. I want to see him also do like that Edelman where he fakes inside, goes outside. So his route running is huge. You know, that's what's going to be a pivotal role in Johntay Cook and him being really, really effective is short area quickness. I think he has that ability. So he's obvious. He's a good talent. He's a good talent. I like what I see on tape. He has versatility as a wide receiver. He has yard after catch potential. Like, look at that. Whew, that's an amazing play. It's a really good play. All right, so Johntay Cook going to the University of Texas.